Hello and welcome to Web Retailer. Today I'm going to be talking you through some free eBay software. Now we'll be looking at free eBay tools under three categories. We'll be looking at research tools, listings tools and reporting tools. Now before we get started, I just want to clarify what we mean by free. Now in this walkthrough we aren't including free trials because we want to have some software with longevity. We're not looking to kind of use the software for 14 days and then have to move to a paid for plan. So we're looking at software that offers a free forever plan. Even if they do have a paid premium version, we're just going to be focusing on the software that you can get for free forever.
So my hunt for free eBay software starts with market research and valuation tools, and the first one I'm going to have a look at is this one here called Algo Pics. Now you essentially have two options with Algo Pics. We're going to do a single search, but you can, after you've signed up to their 14-day free trial, you can upload spreadsheets of up to 1,000 items at a time. Just here, drop it in and it will do basically a bulk piece of research for you. We're going to go and do a single search. So I'm going to type in my keywords here, so garden gnome in 10 inches, and this bit here is quite important, the add shipping and pricing info. So I'm going to keep this because I'm shipping it from the US. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to ship it to yet, so I'm going to just keep that as worldwide. I'm going to ignore the product cost because again I'm not quite sure of that, but I'm going to put my product status as used because my gnome has been pre-loved. So I go back to the go button and I press that, and this roughly takes about 10 to 15 seconds as this like little Rubik's Cube looking thing goes round and round. I think it's just about to load. Yeah, right, so here we go. So the first thing you'll notice about Algopix's interface is that it comes up with five categories on this top bar here. Product demand level doesn't show for used items, but if that was a new item that we were searching, it would kind of give us an indication of how much demand there is for that product, really. It's quite self-explanatory. This will then, the next one next to that, it shows us the best income, so the best price that we could receive for our gnome, and as you can see that's on eBay US. Expenses, that's just sort of its predicted amount that it will cost us to kind of in eBay fees, PayPal fees, logistics, things like that. That's just basically the sum to work out our gross income, and that's just putting out sort of the lowest price, the kind of eBay marketplace we want to avoid. So if I just use these very handy tabs here and click details, we'll get a little bit more information about our rather fetching garden gnome. I just want to click on the other markets tool now though, and if I just scroll us down a little bit, you can see here that it basically tells us this is the salient factor is the gross income, how much you're going to make from it. And you can see these numbers in red. So the only actual marketplace we're going to make any money on our gnome is on eBay US. So that's the marketplace that I'm going to choose. Another really clever feature, if I just click expenses, is this expenses report that it kind of breaks down our $6 and it shows us exactly where our money's going. So you can see we've got some marketplace fees, some logistics fees, some PayPal and no taxes on that, but that's just an estimate. If we then go down and click interest, this is also a very good tool as it allows you to kind of see when over time there's been most demand for the product that you're kind of interested in selling. So I can see here that July 2016 was a big spike, probably the biggest, most recent spike, I think, but also that actually there's been some good demand so far this year, and that March 2017 was a bit of a spike. So it looks like it could be a good time for me to actually get rid of my gnomes. If I just scroll down slightly more here, you can see that Algopix are actually going to put some new features on soon. There's one for estimating your global online sales, one for sales by country, and another one here for customer reviews. A slightly different software is Shelftrend, who offer a free forever plan that allows you to search live inventory data from 22 global eBay marketplaces. So if we click on login here on the Shelftrend website, it will just load up our search. So we want to select our eBay marketplace as the US. If I just scroll down here and we select that, I've already typed in my keywords, which is garden gnome. So I'm now going to click on get data. Now, when I clicked on get data, what that will basically do is it will bring up the 500 listings that best match my keywords. So it's just crunching some data, and it should then bring up basically a list of live listings. Here we go. So this is a little overview here of what we've got. So we can see that from the just under 500 listings that is returned, we've got 242 sellers, 60 brands of gnome, and just over 5,000 have been sold. We've also got a little postage and price range here, which can kind of give you a bit of an insight as to what other people selling similar products are doing. It's also worth mentioning, whilst we're up at the top here, the Shelftrend paid for version, which is $9.99 a month. This basically opens up this tab here, so you can see which brands are kind of popular, and also allows you to use these data filters such as new, used, fixed price, things like that, just to kind of filter your search down further. But for now, we're going to stick with the free forever plan, and if I just scroll down here, what Shelftrend is really basically useful for is it allows you to see who your competitors are and basically what types of products they're selling. Now, you've got this list here, which shows kind of, if we just go over here, shows lots of different sellers, but the real way to get the most out of it is to hone in on one particular seller. So if I'm just looking at how many people are sold, this seller here is sold, look, 740. So we're going to have a look at this seller. So if I go over here and click on Nana Find, it'll just crunch a bit more data. Here we go, not too long to wait, and it brings up the 16 listings that this seller currently has live. So we can, if we just scroll down, basically what we can do is we can see what products are useful and sell well and what doesn't. So you can see this one here of the gnome on a turtle. There was 336 available, of which 323 sold. So that's quite a strong product. Whereas we can see, if we scroll down, just looking for a product that's not been quite as successful. So for instance, this guy here, only a quarter of these have sold because there were 12 available and only 3 have sold of this mini singing gnome, so perhaps he's maybe out of tune. But overall, Shelftrend is quite useful because it gives you a good insight as to what other people are doing in your marketplace and helps you to fit better into that marketplace when you go to sell your products. So it just so happens that one of my gnomes has turned out to be a fairly rare collectible gnome. So I essentially want to see whether one has been sold on eBay before and try and kind of gauge its value from that. So I did a completed listings search on eBay, but this only showed kind of listings that ended in the last 15 days, and I couldn't find my gnome on there. So I've come to listings history. Now this is really useful because you can search a database of collectibles that have been sold on eBay since 2014. So what I'm going to do is you can go to this search bar here, and I'm going to type in the description of my product. So it's a garden gnome, as you can see here, riding a turtle. Now, what I really want to kind of get from this search is to work out the cost that I should sell it at. Now, in order to return only auctions that have, or only products that have actually been brought, you need to select this one here. So only auctions with bids will come up. Now, I want to basically I don't want to put in the day and month here because I want to search across the whole year. Now, I've already done the searches for 2017, 2016 and 2015 and nothing came up. So I'm now going to try my search for 2014. So when I'm happy with all of this, I can now press search. Now, as you can see here, 3 results have come up in the search. Now, this guy here is not the right one, and neither is this one, but this large 17-inch gnome riding a turtle matches my gnome that I'm trying to sell. So if you click the little picture here, you'll go through to another screen. Now, the most important thing here is to remember that the current price is actually, unless it's 0, is actually the price that this listing sold for, because we can see from the end time it actually ended in 2014 and so isn't an open listing on eBay. We can also see here that it had 5 bids. Now that's quite interesting because it might be that I don't want to put it as a fixed price auction. I want to let it be an auction because it looks like there may be some demand for my gnome. I can also, from the current price, see that I should perhaps start my listing at maybe somewhere around $50. Now, if I scroll down, another really useful thing that listings history offers is it actually shows me the listing and the item description that this listing used. Now here I can see kind of things about the dimension, the shipping, the international shipping, the handling, and just some facts about its dimensions. Now this could be really useful when I came to sell, and I could almost use it as a reference point when I come to sell my own. Okay, so we're going to move on to some of the free listing tools now. And when you're creating listings on eBay, two of the most important factors for SEO are the title that you give your listing and the category that you put it in. So to make sure that I get these right, I'm going to use Title Builder. So bring up the Title Builder website, and this big green button here, get your item title. If you click on this, it'll take you through to a little search box. Now, in this search box, I'm going to, the gnome I'm trying to get rid of on this occasion is a gnome with a bit of an LED light built into him, a solar light. So I'm just going to put into the search here, gnome light. And I'm just going to hit return. And it should bring my search up. Okay, now the first thing to just be a little bit careful of with Title Builder is the category, because categories on eBay are something that's very, very easy to get wrong because there's over 18,000 of them. Now, I would approach this tool with caution, and I wouldn't just select the first suggested category that it gives you. I would do some research first, see what types of products are under it, and then select it. I say this because as you can see here, the suggested category for my gnome is collectibles, fantasy, mythical, magical, elves, gnomes, and pixies. Now, it does say gnomes, but when I did an eBay search for this category, it was largely things like figurines, which weren't really, they're not really relevant to what I'm selling. I'm selling garden gnomes, and really it's not suitable for it. So if you come here to where it says change category and click on that, you can see it's got a whole list of different categories that you could potentially sort of list this gnome under. I am going to click on the second one here where it says home and garden, garden and outdoor, living garden decor, statues and yard art. So if you click on that one, that's going to bring up a new category. Now, from the research I've done with this category here, I think this is a far more suitable category for my gnome, and this is the one that I'm going to choose. So what it will do for each category is it will bring up a list of selected words. You have your searched words, which are words that have driven medium search traffic, and you have the extra words here, which are words that sellers of products in this category are commonly using. Now, you'll see here there's this bit of sort of gobbledygook with a lot of different words that don't really make sense. That's because all of the words that have come up in both the extra and the searched category are just put in and kind of combined here. If you want to kind of delete words out, so I don't really want outdoor decor, I can just click these. You see these little, I guess it's like a little yellow button here. You just click that and it's gone. If you accidentally click it and you want it back, you can just, you see there it's gone green. You just click that and decor's added back in. If we want to get rid of decor, click the yellow button, then you can see it's gone. Now, essentially what you need to do is kind of get rid of the words until something in there you like and it makes sense. So I'm just going to take out a few things. I don't really want yard in there, so I'm just going to take that out. I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom here, and a few of these words, they don't really have any relevance. These ones here, as you can see, they've not actually been used by sellers very often. So we're just going to take those out, clicking that yellow button. And this one here, welcome, the two, they don't really need to. The lantern isn't relevant because his lantern's not going to light up. Same with house, same with that one. The LED, I think I'll keep that because that describes kind of my bulb. Get rid of new. Fairy. And I think from what I've got here, I'm going to go with a title of something along the lines of Garden Gnome Statue with Solar Powered Light, as that includes, two of the most searched items here and a number of the words that are being used by sellers. And also importantly, it comes under eBay's 80 character limit on title length. Okay, so after I've done my title, my category, I really want my listings to look professional. I've got a nice set of collectible gnomes, and I really want my listings to kind of reflect that and look of a good standard. I don't simply want to have a description written in Times New Roman against a white background. So this is where this tool here, this piece of software, Supreme Lister, is really useful. So if we click on Login, so basically what happens is, just click OK on here. I should probably note first, you need Flash Player so to use this. So make sure that the Flash Player is updated in your browser and is enabled. So in here, is an overview of the kind of templates and layouts you've done for your listings. Now, when you come in here for the first time, you need to click on New. Now, I've already set one up just to kind of save time typing all the information in, so I'm just going to edit mine, but it won't make any difference because when you press New, it opens in another window just like editing a draft does. So if I bring this over here, so this is the second window, so it's just basically loading it. This is the form. Now, as you can see, mine's already been filled out. So you've got this first page, which is your basic information. So in here, there's an item description and your subtitle. You can choose which kind of auction type you want. So I've gone for a straight auction and put in an item price, and my starting price is $20. I'm not going to put in a buy it now price. When you've done this, you can then go over to category and select your category. You can put in your handling, your return, and then sort of in variations, just some item specific things and things you'd like to make specific about details of certain articles. So if we go back to basic, we can then change between the different tabs here. So texts, media, and design. So now I'm going to go into texts, and what text is basically your description. So as you can see, I've put my description in here. When you've done that, then you can then go to media. As you can see, I've got two images here. So to upload your media, it's free. You just essentially click on this one here for upload images. And then you can click on it. It will bring up a normal sort of document finder. You can then just select them and bring them in. I won't do that as mine are already here. So you've got this one, this one. And then when they're in, they'll be automatically added to your listing. So when you've put in your data, you've sorted out your description, you've put your pictures in, you can then look at your design. Now, a really important thing to remember when you're looking at design on Supreme Lister is basically to scroll down to the bottom. So you've got all of these ones here that you have to pay for. So the big ones, smart ones, that kind of thing. But what really to get the best out of it, you can go on basic and get the free ones. Now, actually, you've got quite a big range of basic free templates to preview. So the one that I've chosen, if I just scroll down here, for my gnomes is Garden in the Wild, simply because that's their natural habitat and it sort of reflects the nice gardeny feel that I'm kind of trying to get across on this listing. So when you've picked your template that you like and you're happy with it, you can also go in options, I should say, where you can add kind of a view counter, but I'm not going to do that. So go back to selection. You'll just load the form. I'll just check one more time. Yep, that's the one I'm happy with. Just check there's no cost. It will tell you in here how much that one is, and you can see that one's free. So I'm now going to preview my listing. So that'll open in another window. So I'm just going to bring that over. So this, if I just put this in full screen, this is my listing. So as you can see here, I've got my title, my subtitle, nice little description of my listing here, and two rather fetching pictures of Woodland Wilf. So if I just close this down, I'm now ready to finish. So finish will basically put this for listing on eBay. So when I click finish, it'll load the form, and eBay will just see this here. eBay is just verifying the item. Okay, so to just avoid you waiting and watching it kind of load there, what will happen after it's verified is it will come through here. So this is our item title, what we're listing it under. It just makes sure that you're aware of the eBay charges that it's going to kind of incur by listing this, and you can see here that our Supreme charge for using Supreme Lister is nothing. So if I click next, some of selected items, no fees included, so again that's just 0. And if we click upload, that should now, so just please be patient, again just a bit more loading. So it's been scheduled. So if we click on that, so as you can see, this is our listing. We've got our title here, so it's used, and it looks quite good. We've got two pictures on it. And if we scroll down, there is our template that we've got from Supreme Lister with our two pictures and our description. And it looks much better than just kind of having it on a blank background with nothing there. Now, despite the family's gnome collection hiding in the shed away from the dangerous dachshund, not everybody knew about the gnome embargo, and I actually received one as a present for Christmas. Now, because he's new, I'm going to use a lister called WowLister to list him. This is basically a software that takes products from Amazon.com and converts them in 60 seconds to an eBay listing. So the first step for this one is to simply open an Amazon.com tab and find the product that you're wishing to sell. So this is my gnome. Apparently they say he's the gnome. So I mean, you know, the go-to guy in the gnome world. So if I copy the URL in here and go to WowLister, so this is WowLister. So this bit here, it says create a listing. If you click this, okay, so we're going to go through to a two-step process now. So, I mean, you will have to, the first time you use this, just link your eBay account to it. And also, if you haven't signed up to the eBay International Seller Agreement, it may error, but after you've gone and agreed to that, it will work for you. So if you purely paste the URL that we've just taken from Amazon in the top one here, and you click submit, it'll take you through to this one. Now, all I would say about using this software is here you've got the option of using new or used. Now, I personally wouldn't use this for used software just simply because it will import the pictures from the Amazon listing, and eBay has quite strict rules about using stock images for products that aren't actually new. So my name's new anyway, so I'm going to select new. There's some advanced settings here, so you can look at is it a fixed price, is it an auction. I'm going to put this one up for auction. Starting price is 0, maximum handling time, yeah, that's all fine. So you can then, when you're done with that, you can close that up. So we'll then submit it with this one. So when we've submitted that, we'll get a little loading screen. And here we go. So it says here you've successfully listed your item, and there's just, if we scroll down, just a fee breakdown, and you can actually see that there's no fees on that. We've got 0 eBay fees. So if we go over here to this link here, this will take us to our gnome on eBay, and here we go. So it's the gnome that you've just seen on this Amazon listing here. You can see that this gnome here has carried over to eBay. So you've got a nice gallery with a few pictures. Here you've got that picture, so it's five good pictures. You can see that it's listed as a buy it now for the price that it's taken. So see in this Amazon one, if we just go back, it's just below $20. So that's carried that over, and you can see that price is in there. It's taken its description from the Amazon, so you can see here the garden gnome 10-inch, and in here the garden gnome 10-inch. It's just got a little bit more description about it. And something I really like about WowLister is how accurate it is in categorizing your products. So here we've got it under the statues and lawn ornaments subcategory of home and garden, so that's all fine. And if we scroll down, you can see here that it's taken the product description, so all of this bit here, that's taken that all from Amazon as well. So we've got a new listing in less than 60 seconds with 5 really decent pictures. Our buy it now is all right. We've got our price, we've got our title and a description. So it's a very quick way to list items with a real sort of professional looking listing. Okay, so we're going to move on to free reporting tools now, and we're going to have a look at my sales. Now, this is a test account that the nice folks at Terapeak have given me to have a little play about with. And I must say, for a free software, this has got a lot of functions. So you see here there's 3 blue boxes. These basically help you to filter the data that you'll see below. So the first box here allows you to select either all of your eBay seller accounts or one specific account. So I'm going to select this one here. The second box here allows you to select a specific eBay marketplace, so I'm going to stick with ebay.com. And this one here, filter by, this actually allows you to select a certain category of products, but I want to see all of my products on this occasion, so I'm not going to tick any of those. I'm just going to click apply. Now you can select over which time period you'd like to see data from. So if you click on this here, you can have it from as little as 2 days, so you could have it for the 30th and the 31st of March, or you could have it for the whole month. And I'm going to select the 1st and the 31st, and I'm going to have it for the whole month, and then click apply. So that's just loading up. So you'll see that the first bit of data that we get given here is items sold. In these, we get 3 little graphs here with some overview facts. So items sold, I can see I've sold 14, and the little percentages at the top, they're just your percentage increase or decrease from the previous time period. So in this case, from February 2017. So here I've got my average selling price and my total sales and little graphs. Now, what I really like about My Sales is it allows you to basically see the efficiency of the listings that you're putting out. So if I just scroll down slightly here, you can see your number of impressions, which is how many times your listings have come up in an eBay search. You can see your number of page views, which is how many times people have clicked on your listings after you've come up in an eBay search. And then really your key stats here are your click-through rate, which is essentially how many times, or the percentage of times that people clicked on your listing when it came up in an eBay search. And more importantly is your sales conversion rate, as that essentially shows how many times people bought an item that you had for sale after they clicked on your listing. So if we move down here to this graph, this is another clever feature which allows you just basically to see some more specific data in a clearer way. Now from this drop down list you can choose a number of things. So I want to look at my total revenue. So this is currently showing me my total revenue for the month of March. Now I want to see how it performed against February. So if we go over here to compare against time period, just click that button. We now see two different coloured lines. We have the blue line here, this one, which is our current period, so this is March, and the green line here is our data from February, and it basically just allows us to compare a certain point. So if I go down here, I can see that on the 9th of March, for instance, I'd made $39 from sales, whereas at the same time period, just slightly before in February, I'd made a lot more, I'd made $700. The final thing that you can do with a free My Sales account is you can have a look at specific transactions. Now this is quite interesting because it basically allows you to see, like our stats here allows you to see basically an overview of all your listings. This allows you to see the efficiency of individual listings. So again, we can see our impressions. So for this lens here, we can see that it came up in Google search, in eBay searches, sorry, it came up in eBay searches just over 2,000 times. But people actually only clicked on that listing in particular 102 times out of that. And then we can basically see our average selling price for that product. So again, here we've only sold one, so that's the total sales. And you get that for basically all the products that you've sold on your account, and it really is quite useful to help you build more efficient listings in the future.
Okay, so that's our walkthrough complete. But before we finish, I just want to give my favourite in each category. So starting with the research, I really like Algo Pics. I think its single search is quite efficient for free software, and I think it's kind of, the expenses breakdown is really clever, and the fact that it gives me multiple marketplaces there to choose from, which allows me to choose which marketplace I can get the biggest profit on, and also see, you know, whether I'd be operating a loss on other marketplaces or whether there might potentially be somewhere else I can sell it. Looking at listings tools, it's got to be WowLister. I think the speed at which it generates the listings is really impressive, and as I say, the fact that it could categorise our items so accurately where other kind of software didn't, I think that's a real selling point of that tool. And then for reporting, I really like My Sales, and my favourite feature on My Sales is almost certainly the fact that we can see the efficiency rating for individual listings. So I can take one product that's sold and I can see my click-through rate and things like that, and I think that's really good. And the amount of functions on there for a free version of that software are really good. So thank you for watching our video, and thank you for visiting Web Retailer.